Okay, hi everyone. We're getting on to the hour, so we're gonna start our meeting. Go ahead, Jen. We're good to go.
Very good, thanks.
Okay, I'm gonna call this meeting to order at, well, we'll just wait till 6 o'clock for sure. It's 6. 6 o'clock, okay. Okay, calling this meeting to order at 6 o'clock, and I'll hand it over to the Deputy Mayor, John Carroll.
Hey, thank you, Mayor. We'd like to begin the meeting by saying the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Hornepayne would like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that the land on which we gather here today is Treaty 9, 1905 and 1906 territory, the traditional lands of the Indigenous peoples. As we work towards reconciliation, may we all live within respect of this land and live in peace and friendship with all its diverse peoples.
Thank you, John. And moving on to item number 3, we do have a few additions. Addition of item 7.4, Royal Canadian Legion Branch 194, and the addition of section 13, which is a closed session for the purpose of adopting confidential closed session minutes and discussing a matter that's subject to solicitor-client privilege. So if I can get a mover and a seconder to approve the agenda, moved by Councillor Peter Kistemaker, second by Councillor Belinda Kistemaker. Be it resolved that Council does hereby approve the agenda as presented. Those in favor? And that is carried. Declaration of pecuniary interest, declaration of conflict of interest. I don't have any paperwork for that as of right now. That can be done at any time throughout the meeting if a situation arises. And 6.1, we have a presentation tonight, and we're welcoming Community Living Algoma to our council meeting virtually again. And can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for coming virtually. We enjoy doing this every year, and we are appreciative that Community Living Algoma has been a support in Hornepayne. So I give you the floor.
Thank you so much. Okay, good evening, Mayor, Town Council, and community members. I am proud to be here as we recognize Community Living Awareness Month. My name is Kristen, and I am representing the Community Living Algoma. I am also a proud member of Council of Self-Advocates at Community Living Algoma. Our council is made out of people who advocate for inclusion, accessibility, and meaningful change. Not only within Community Living Algoma, but across the Algoma district. We use our voices to help create a community where everyone feels they truly belong. For over 70 years, Community Living Algoma has been dedicated to this mission, supporting over 928 children and adults with intellectual disabilities. Our work is grounded in promoting rights, choices, and opportunities, ensuring that every person is valued, respected, and included as a full member of their community. But inclusion doesn't happen on its own. It takes all of us. Every person, business, and organization has a role to play in making our communities more welcoming and accessible, whether through small acts of kindnesses, in inclusive hiring practices, and recognizing the strength in diversity. Each of us contributes to building a community where everyone can thrive. In a world that is constantly changing, thank you for continuing to stand with us and in recognizing Community Living Awareness Month, and for ongoing commitment to building a more exclusive Algoma.
Thank you so much, Kristen.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you here this evening, and Hornepayne has been a proud sponsor and supporter of Community Living Algoma. I remember way back in the day when Marg Bryan was coordinator here, and then Judy Barrett, and it's been a successful program within our community. And I thank you for presenting tonight. I know it takes courage to come to council meetings, so thank you so much.
I've been here usually before in the Sioux for Special Olympics reasons, so.
Okay, great. Well, if you want to listen, we're going to pass a support resolution. If I can get a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Peter Kissmaker, second by Councillor Drago Stefanik. Whereas Community Living Algoma has provided supports and services to people with intellectual disabilities and their families in the Township of Hornepayne and surrounding districts since 1954, and has provided services to 928 adults and children across the district of Algoma this year. And whereas Community Living Algoma's goal is that people with intellectual disabilities have every opportunity to participate fully in our community with dignity, independence, and acceptance. And whereas Community Living Algoma works with Hornepayne volunteers and other stakeholder groups and organizations to promote citizenship for people with intellectual disabilities so that they have rights and responsibilities. So they have the rights and responsibilities and the opportunities that come with belonging, participating, and contributing as a value member in society. And whereas Community Living Awareness Month is a province-wide initiative created to celebrate the values of community living, which are inclusion, equality, and respect. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Hornepayne does hereby proclaim the month of May 2026 as Community Living Awareness Month in the Township of Hornepayne. And Council, I put that to a vote. Those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, and moving on to correspondence, action item 7.1 is the Provincial Day of Action on Litter, May 12th, 2026. If I can get a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Peter Kistemaker, second by Councillor Belinda Kistemaker. Whereas nearly 1 ton of waste is generated per person every year in Ontario, and it is estimated that almost 10,000 tons of plastic debris enter Ontario's lakes and rivers each year. And whereas waste that doesn't get recycled or go to landfill ends up as litter in the environment, which has a negative effect on local ecosystems and wildlife. And whereas the province is working to reduce the amount of waste going to landfills and becoming litter by bringing awareness to the impacts of waste on the environment, and whereas the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks has established a Provincial Day of Action on Litter to unite everyone across the province under the common cause of creating a greener, cleaner, and more sustainable environment for ourselves and for future generations. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of Corporation of the Township of Hornepayne does hereby support Ontario's 7th Annual Provincial Day of Action on Litter, taking place on Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. And any questions on that support resolution? Being none, I put that to a vote. Those in favor? And that is carried. Okay, moving on, we have an invitation of upcoming student careers events in Hornepayne. And who would like to speak to this? Go ahead, John. Yeah.
I was approached couple days ago, last week actually, by a lady from, let me get this right,
Laura?
Lauren Wells anyways, from a career coaching corporation, and what they asked, because she got a hold of me, what she asked is they're putting together half an hour segment talk at the high school, the grade 9 and 10 students. It's more of a talk, less than a presentation. And yeah, one of the ones that they wanted to talk about was career in municipal politics and how to go further and how we got here, journey to get here.
Okay,
I did agree. I'll have to say I did agree at the time. The conversation quickly went to forestry, and it went on for a while for that, and that's kind of what I agreed to do, but that's why I didn't approach the rest of council for it ahead of time. So,
okay. I just want to thank you for stepping up, John, because we were approached and I'm away. That's why I had said I'm away. And I believe we have a staff member as well.
I'm away as well that day to an appointment in the Sault Ste. Marie, but I asked Jen if she would like to step in. And we've been bouncing emails back and forth. We haven't had a chance to sit down. So Jen, I'm going to put you on the spot. Are you available that day to attend?
Yep.
And great.
I am. I wanted to wait and ensure that council wanted me to attend.
Yep.
But I do have everything open. There's a form that I have to fill out. It's all
Perfect.
Right on. I think it would be a great opportunity for you, Jen. First of all, because we have a Hornepayner that's went to school here, worked here, and now is working in the municipal office. I think that'll be a good thing for the children to hear. And John, I think you have a great stand-in of information for how do you become a politician. You were elected and then you came through a vacancy. So you have a bit to speak on there. So I think that's a good thing.
it should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and do we don't have a motion or anything for that? We'll just listen to the updates at the meeting after.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further comments or questions on that, council? Okay, there being none, we'll move on to 7.3, the AMO delegation requests, and I believe you want input from council. Is that what we're looking for, Manuel?
Yeah, I'd like to put in some requests as well.
Okay, do you want to speak to it
So,
first?
of course, as always, the small northern tax with the Ministry of Finance and support for Ministry of Housing as well, municipal affairs, any of them that would like to support this. Just to give council an update, the ministry may I?
Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
The
Go ahead.
Ministry of Finance has approached MPAC and asked MPAC to review our data as it reflects from this idea and any other municipality that supported our resolution. And so far, all data has come in positive if there is no reassessment and positive if there is a reassessment. So we're looking for next steps, and that we have that momentum. We definitely want to keep pushing. And then housing, I think housing for sure, because we've got some great housing ideas coming through HHC, would also be a recommendation. And I know I'm getting Ministry of Energy.
Okay, just a suggestion on housing, if there's anything that we need from the Housing Corporation in sense of a resolution or motion or package, they do have a meeting set. We set it for the 29th. Sorry, Belinda, for putting you on the spot. It's near the end of May.
The end of May.
Yeah, so there's some time for that.
I think on a Thursday, so that must be the 29th.
Okay,
Ministry of Energy requesting an update on the transmission line so we can upload more power to the grid. And I know I'm forgetting some, so I would put it to council at this point.
okay.
Oh, the fire truck, sorry, the fire truck.
Okay, and I open up the floor for council. Go ahead, Councilor
Yeah.
Panic.
Premier, infrastructure grants, roads still again. I mean, our roads are deteriorating, as we found out this spring, atrocious, and it can't be helped. It's 60, 70 years, 75, 80 years old. Also, infrastructure, obviously, as we see from the report from PW manager, it looks like be a major cost to their curling facility. So let's get ahead of the curve and see if anything, I know they opened up new infrastructure approximately 200 million a couple months ago. So if we go into it as soon as we can, because there'll be major costs, just some thoughts.
I agree. I completely agree. I think, I'm not sure, did we pass a resolution about, having it 10%? That our funding portion be 10%, that they open up some.
We did not, we spoke about it, but I don't believe that we passed a resolution. So
Okay, so maybe we bring a
May
motion and
14th.
a resolution to the floor, and because that's what we need, we can't pay, what is it right now, 27%? Is our portion?
that's right.
And there's just no way we can afford it. And what other aspects were you thinking of, Councillor Stefanik?
Well, also with the water agency, we're still unsure. Are we going with the new filtration system? I mean, there was discussion talks. Is there any grants available for that as well? So again, if there is, that's the time to jump on it.
Okay, so anything to do with water or
Yeah.
wastewater?
I think there's water
Please.
enabling.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other further comments from council? There'll be several delegations that we'll be putting in, okay?
That's 7.
And we have still, if council was to bring something on the 15th, if anyone thinks of it, is that the next
One
meeting?
is that they open now. I can't remember when it closes.
Usually it closes sometime in middle of June, I think, eh? Thanks, Jim.
I'm totally blanking. Deadline is Thursday, May the 21st.
Oh, May the
21st.
21st, okay. So that won't be enough time, so you got tonight.
May
May
14th.
May 14th, are you gonna
Yeah.
have enough time between May 14th and the 21st?
Well, we'll get these 7 in, and then if we get a couple more, we'll slide them in.
Okay, staff's giving you time, there you go, applaud the staff on that one, okay, so you got till, the next council meeting.
If you come up with more.
Okay, moving on, we have our addition to our agenda. Was there anything else you wanted to talk to, on that one, Amanda, sorry?
Nope, that was it. Thank you for the opportunity. to voice.
Okay. Okay, 7.4 is our addition for the Royal Canadian Legion. If I can get a mover and a seconder, and we can discuss. Moved by Councillor Drago Stefanik, second by Councillor Peter Kistemaker. Whereas council received correspondence from the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 194 requesting an in-kind donation of usage of the arena facility for their 100th anniversary taking place on Saturday, June 13th, 2026. And whereas the comprehensive user fees and services charges, the fee for the arena facility rental for special events, not-for-profit private is $714.13, including HST. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Hornepayne does hereby authorize an in-kind donation of the arena facility at cost of $714.13, including HST, to the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 194 for their 100th anniversary to be expensed from council donations to organizations, or deny the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 194's request for an in-kind donation of usage of the arena facility for their 100th anniversary. And I open up for discussion on the floor because we have to make a decision. Yes, go ahead, Jen.
Just wanted to speak to this first. In the beginning, didn't realize that this was an in-kind.
Yeah, the way it was written, it didn't
Yeah.
sound that way.
The way it was, so that's why it was an addition, because afterwards the CAO and I met with Albina, and she had explained she wanted it as an in-kind, so because we haven't met us.
Okay, no problems. That's all right.
And we're short on time.
Yeah, I understand why it's an addition. That's, we could make those. So the floor is open for discussion. Go ahead, Councillor Stefanik.
To be married to staff, will the facility be available? Because remember, we had discussion around this table, the facility might not be available.
So may I speak to that?
Yes, for sure.
So rather than later, may I tell the whole story?
Yeah. let's
Okay,
do it
thank
all
you.
right here.
So Cindy and I had a discussion with ICIP late in the day today regarding the fitness center library build and council's direction at bringing that project down to $2.5 million. So we spoke with JL Richards as well. We denied all the bids because they came in over, not just over our budget, but over the funding budget. All the bids were over, so we rejected all the bids, and we had a discussion with JL Richards, and their recommendation was to go to a contractor design and build and for us to set the upper limit. So the upper limit is at least about approximately $2 million lower than the lowest bid that was received. And the direction will be, the RFP will set the upper limit of the project, which will be $2.5 million. I mean, as well say it's going to be public. It's going to ask for the contractor to design and to provide a design and build outline for a fitness center, library, all of the components of the grant. It can be attached to the building if they think that's the way they can do it, but it's probably not feasible. That's what raised the cost in the first place. The ISIP is not opposed to us doing it as a standalone building, away from the arena, maybe close enough that we could have a walkway in between to kind of connect it that way if we needed to. I thought more for weatherproofing rather than anything else, because maybe somebody's working out and wants to run to the canteen and get fries and it's 40 below outside and they can run through the walkway rather than go outside. So that's a way to connect it and give it that appearance of a community hub. It is a community hub. So it's meeting all the criteria, and most likely will not require a scope change based on the conversation today. But step one is to go to the new RFP. So that's what we'll be doing probably starting tomorrow, is reaching out, getting that new RFP and getting some bids in.
Okay.
So saying that, the original question was, will we be able to? Yes, I believe that it's going to be a separate building. So I think we could fence it off or barricade it off and allow for the use of the arena, because I don't see us dismantling the arena to do a big addition, because that's where the majority of the cost came in.
Okay.
So I think,
Yeah, and even if we're started by June 13th.
I don't think we would start
Yeah.
until probably July, because by the time we finish with the RFP process award and have somebody mobilize here, it's going to be after June 13th.
Okay, good. Is that follow up?
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
supplementary, request for I concur 100% for in-kind donation. The Legion has done tremendous amount of things for this community, and some here 42 years, always want, and they're all volunteers. We got to keep that in mind. They put massive number of hours to better our community, and I'm 100% for in-kind donation.
Okay, thank you, Counselor. Any other counselors?
I'm fine with that.
In-kind donation? Okay,
So
in-kind?
Anything
Yes.
we can do.
Yes,
Okay.
I have to echo Drago's comments and add my own. I totally agree that with the in-kind donation, I know throughout the years that I was the education chair for a while, and I support the efforts that they do with the students across our community, like public speaking and the poetry contest, the essay contest. I was a judge for that for years. So, and besides all of the other events and things that they do for our community, for adults and everything, I think this would be I'm looking forward to the celebration. So, okay, with that, we're gonna do the in-kind donation. So that was the first portion of the motion, and I put that to a vote. Those in favor? And that is carried. Okay, correspondence, information only. If I can get a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councilor Belinda Kistemaker, second by Councilor John Paroff. Be it resolved that council does hereby acknowledge receipt of the correspondence information only package attached to the agenda of the regular meeting of council held on Thursday, April 30th, 2026. And is there any comments or any of the information in the information only? Okay, there being none, I put that to a vote. Those in favor? And that is carried. And then we have committee board updates. If I can get a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councilor John Paroff, second by Councilor Peter Kistemaker. Be it resolved that council does hereby acknowledge receipt of the committee and board meeting minutes attached to the agenda of the regular meeting of council held on Thursday, April 30th, 2026. And we have the Hornepayne Public Library board minutes. Any comments on those minutes? Okay, there being none, I put that to a vote. Those in favor? And that is carried. And now we're at council committee updates, roundtable. So we'll start to my left. Go ahead, Councilor Spanik.
Thank you, Mayor. I have library board meeting coming up, as FCIP coming in the month of May. I also will be attending FNOM, May 11th to 13th, and council administration will get a full report within 2 weeks of that when I come back.
Okay,
Thank you.
awesome. I'm glad you're going. I think they have a great agenda. I was looking over what's happening, and you're gonna have quite the presence of ministers there, like Noma. So
I'll let you know.
we'll feed you the documents, like you can talk up our fire truck.
Absolutely, I have a report I can give you.
I'm sure I'll speak to a couple of ministers that I know personally, so.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Fantastic. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Jen.
Prior to moving forward, we did get an email, Manuela and I, that there is an additional event. I have to check, I have to find the email, I apologize. Starting a half hour after Phenom ends in Timmins, and it goes for the rest of, I believe, the 13th. That we did want to see if Counselor Stefanik would be interested in attending, if council wishes to, wishes for that to happen. I just have to.
It was an invitation from the Minister of Rural Affairs.
Oh,
I did not get that.
oh, that was
No, it
Lisa
came-
Thompson.
Yes, it came to me yesterday.
Okay,
And if you're already there, it makes more sense that you attend than.
Okay, I think that would be covered under the budget.
if you would
and
like to.
if You can. Okay, we'll let, Counselor Stefanik look that over. You can make that decision, Counselor, and we'll just get the update at our next meeting.
I'll get to the CEO tomorrow.
Yep.
If you send me the
I'll
information, I
send
would
the,
appreciate it.
yeah,
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
want to see the time frame and where it's gonna be and everything else,
Yeah.
please.
Just a note on, Minister Thompson, I met, with her at NOMA, and, she wants to have a one-on-one meeting with us and talk about how to help us here in Hornepayne. It was really collaborative and, approachable, and, so. Okay. So we'll let that carry on behind the scenes and we'll get an update. Counselor Belinda Kissmaker.
Okay, basically, we were at the NOAA conference last week, so Cheryl and Manuel and myself. Their theme this year was resilience. And under resilience, we talked about, or the themes were building strong foundations, driving home northern prosperity, leadership, health, and community well-being, and adapting to resilience in the future. For the future, some of it was good. Some of the things that stuck out, I guess, was the working session we attended with NWMO. Basically, they're looking to put use another community in Canada, and they were asking for our input as to what worked and what didn't work. And we did come down to certain six or nine elements to look at, to stay within. One concern that did come up during that was in INDIGENOUS right now, they have actually established a camp, which was kind of upsetting because I thought that they would push for people to live there. And I think so did everybody else. So, it was a big discussion on that. And, basically we have to stick up for the North. We need people coming in our communities. We don't need camps. So.
Just, I just want to jump in and speak to that too, after we had a discussion, because I went to a different session. We were kind of dividing and conquering, but I think that would be actually a really good, point to take for our delegations, because we all had discussed later, and there was a few other people that we had discussed with, is that we put forward a motion that when big business comes in, like mines, or they're building infrastructure, that they build, maybe a mixed residential unit or hotel or something in the community that would be sustainable for the long term and use the resources we have. Because we've heard about this many times with Duberville, with their mine, and how many people they have living on the outskirts of their community, but yet utilizing all the resources of the community, right? So, I'm not sure how we would put the motion on the floor to get that, and we could do it from that,
And which ministry
we could probably bring it to Lisa Thompson with Rural Affairs.
and multiple mining?
Yes. Yeah, with Minister of Energy and Mines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we wouldn't want to see that in our own community. They're struggling, and then that would be a way to mitigate it.
Mhm.
So, and if NWMO is in the process, they could support that, right, moving forward, because they'll be looking for a
Yeah.
new host community after 2027 was when they're gonna start the application process.
I think so,
Yeah,
can't remember, but I'm pretty sure.
okay. Sorry, Belinda, I jumped in there.
No, that's fine. One of the other highlights that happened during, the event was, Cheryl did do a presentation for now. And, she did a very good job. And I'm actually wondering how many men put in a donation of their $25, so.
Yes, yes, we did. I have to say, we did receive application requests after that, and and I have to say, I give a shout out to the mayor of Kenora. I guess he was singing praises at his council meeting the other night about it, so it was well received, and I think it's going to be a great association into the future to partner with Phenom and Noma and really bring, basically the driving basis of it is how do we get women to want to stay and live in the north and support community building. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. It was fun.
That's it for now, but I do want to put out a report to everybody, like we had talked about, so everyone knows else happened, because there wasn't a lot of things.
It was a jam-packed few days, for sure.
It was.
Okay, thank you, Counselor. Counselor Peter, go ahead. Okay. Counselor John?
I had nothing since last meeting.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I want to just give a thank you to John ahead of time. I will be on vacation from May the 7th to June the 13th. And John is going to step in for me. He's already reached out. We've had some conversations about things that are happening and meetings that are happening in the background. So thank you for that, John. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
And just my comments on NOMA was that it is definitely a conference that we have to attend. It's very similar in the case of Phenom, but the amount of ministers that were there over the course of the 2.5 days, and that you had one-on-ones. With our waste to resource facility, I was able to talk to Minister Lecce on the side about that and ask, like, how do we get help for that? Like, you know, it's a huge project if we were to bring something like that to Hornepayne, and you know, and just directing us in the right way to resources, how to help our community. So that was good. And we were able to ask a question we were going to ask a question for the bear pit. We didn't, but we still reached out to Minister Flack, and he's gonna get our answers to us in the background. And we were talking about sustainable funding, and we were talking about the modernization fund that they had come out with, the one-time grants, and if they're going to come out with anything like that. It's not going to be modernization, but something in the future is coming, so we'll look forward to those grants. The other session that, or the delegations, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to the Green Party leader, Mike Schreiner, for meeting with us and reaching out to us and listening to us. And I just thought that he made the contact out, and he is well received in the House, and so it was good. Other than that, for NOMA, for me, it was busy.
Well,
It'll be in the report. I think I'd rather just do the report and have it laid out. Moving forward, we did have a couple of meetings this week with housing. We found out at the Hornepayne Housing Corporation meeting last night that we were not successful in the Innovation Fund. It has been completely depleted. We're still in the running for building Canada Homes, so that's still moving forward. And I have reached out to CN to see if they will work with us on building housing in Hornepayne, maybe coming in as a capital partner. And so we'll move forward with that. We've had a couple of meetings now with the waste to resource, so that's still working in the background. We have been able to make contact with the Peel region. We'll talk with them next week on Monday, I believe, and then Tuesday we'll have another meeting with the waste to resource. So that is moving along quite readily. And I think some of the items moving forward out of that we'll have further council discussion and information on at the next meeting is how we engage in Indigenous participation in the project, and how we secure municipal support for a data center in our community. So those two items will be coming up. And I think that's it for now from my end. Any questions for anyone from council? Okay. And we'll move on to new and other business. The Hornepayne Housing Corporation shareholder direction. If I can get a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Peter Kistemaker, second by Councillor John Paroff. Whereas the Hornepayne Housing Corporation, HHC, is a municipal service corporation wholly owned by the Township of Hornepayne pursuant to the Municipal Act 2001 and Ontario Regulation 59906. And whereas council as sole shareholder has the authority to provide direction to the corporation in alignment with its public mandate and the strategic priorities of the municipality. And whereas a shareholder direction has been developed in collaboration with municipal staff and the board of directors to clarify governance expectations, roles, financial parameters, and reporting relationships. And whereas the shareholder direction supports transparency, accountability, and alignment between the township and the corporation while maintaining appropriate operational independence. Therefore, be it resolved that the council hereby approves and adopts the shareholder direction for the Hornepayne Housing Corporation as presented. Be it further resolved that the council directs that the shareholder direction be issued to the board of directors of the Hornepayne Housing Corporation, implemented as the governing framework for shareholder oversight. Be it further resolved that council affirms that the shareholder direction provides guidance on governance rules and responsibilities, financial oversight, including any applicable thresholds for borrowing and investment, strategic alignment with the municipal priorities, and reporting and accountability requirements. Be it finally resolved that council authorizes the mayor and clerk to execute any documents necessary to formalize the shareholder direction. Any further comments on that? I want to thank Catherine again for coming to present to council. And if I can put that to a vote, those in favor, and that is carried. Okay, we have 10.2, which is a main structural beam support beam failure, and I believe Dwayne will speak to it.
Yes, sure. I think everything's covered in the report, but on the 23rd of April, we discovered there was one of the main structural beams, the second beam into the curling club facility. We got a buckle and just to do it for sure. Now it's fully stopped to the public, obviously, and to our staff.
Okay, do we have any questions? Can we go ahead, Councilor Kistemaker, Peter?
Madam Mayor, you think it's from downward pressure or from a sideway motion?
Be positive, like it happened during the winters, and certainly that contributing factors for snow, but I don't know, it could be rust, could be fatigue, I'm not sure. The structural engineer told me that for sure.
And did you notice any other beams that may be following suit?
They all seem to be fine except for that one.
Because the last engineering report, I think we had Madam Mayor showed it was everything was still in decent shape, I thought. Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Go ahead, Councilor.
Yeah, we have no alternative. You have to get a structural engineer. I mean, it's number one, safety for the staffing and safety for the public. You just can't. It's the rule of the law. And sooner we act, then the better. Because if you have to remove the entire I-beam, which is a cross member, that's massive. Or whatever the engineer suggests. Because we had challenges in Arena approximately 36 years ago. And all they did was they cut it and they rewelded it new piece. I'm not sure what the situation, but that's what we need professional people to do as soon as possible, please.
Okay,
I have reached
go ahead,
out
yes.
to our insurance company for input from them.
Okay, great.
You slide in a new curling book? Are you gonna put on insurance?
We'll get the plant we need.
Yeah.
Is the beam went?
You wouldn't believe the damage.
Yeah.
Can we put the fire truck in there?
The one piece of steel fell right on the,
Right on the fire truck.
yeah. It all happened at once.
We should joke about that.
Oh my God,
Oh, no,
yeah.
sorry. I apologize.
Oh, gosh. Okay, is there any further comment? Because we do have a resolution on, or a motion to present to the floor. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I just want to say, I had lots of questions at first, and then I read Dwayne's report the second time, and it was very good, and I want to just say thank you, Dwayne. But I agree with Councillor Stefanik here that we can't really make a decision until an engineer looks at it, right? Assesses the damage.
Yeah, exactly. Manuel, go ahead.
I would just like to hold off until we get direction from insurance, because if they're going to cover it, they might have their own engineers that they want to send. So I don't want to spend money that we possibly don't need to spend
Yeah.
if they have people they're sending.
Like, that's a good call, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but we can still move this tonight and then you'll just hold off till you hear from the insurance?
Absolutely, I'm gonna push them, so.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
we'll just have an update at council of how that proceeds?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no further comments or questions, I'll, need a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Counselor Dragon Stefanic, second by Counselor John Paroff. Be it resolved that council receives Public Works Manager's Report 2026-01 regarding the failure of a main structural support beam at the Township C&D curling facility ice surface. 2, confirms the continued closure of the curling ice surface area until a full structural assessment has been completed and any required stabilization, repairs, or replacement work has been carried out. 3, authorizes staff to retain a qualified structural engineer and any other required technical specialist to assess the extent of the structural failure and provide recommendations for stabilization, repair, or replacement. 4, direct staff to obtain quotations or tenders as required under the township's procurement policy for any emergency stabilization work and any subsequent repair or replacement work. 5, authorizes the CAO and treasurer to review available funding sources and report back to council on project costs and budget implications. And 6, directs staff to return to council with a follow-up report once the engineering assessment, scope of work, and cost estimates have been completed. Any further discussion? There being none, I put that to a vote. Those in favor, and that is carried. And item number 10.3 is the status of the blue box transition. Ben, did you want to speak to your report?
Yes, please. I did want to advise that at approximately 11:30 this morning, I did get an email from Circular Materials, not responding to any of my questions, but they did advise, it was an email to all of the outside transition municipalities, just advising that they are working through the 4-step process, and they provided a link to that. So tomorrow we can post that on our website. Just advising that they're almost done step 1, which is getting the information. Step 2, which is the procurement process, has been initiated. They don't really have any updates yet, and we'll reach out at the end of May to provide another update. So that is where we are at. Yes, but I will ask, well, I'll ask Manuela to ask Shanna if we can link their process website on our website under the garbage so people can see where we're at.
The last, may I?
Okay, yeah.
The last conversation we had with them, Jen and I, their suggestion for procurement was to bring trucks in from Winnipeg.
Do they know where we are?
I think they have no idea where we are. We recommended Sault Ste. Marie or like where Kimmins, GFL, Sault Ste. Marie, Hearst, if they have Kimmins, GFL.
Yeah, it was painful. I tried in my report to sound really positive about it, but that was a rough meeting.
Well, Winnipeg is close.
Well, originally they said, what was it?
Yeah, close in comparison to Vancouver.
Yeah.
What was their original one? Their original one was like North Bay or something, and then we're like, that's really far, and they're like, okay, how about Winnipeg? And we're like,
That's
somehow farther, actually.
Yeah, it's interesting, boy, oh boy. Like,
Well,
I know.
It is, you know what, it was such a, I have to say this, it
Eye-opener.
was such an eye-opener for the Good Roads Board last June when they came here.
Mhm.
And they couldn't believe, they're like, you do this every 2 months to come see us? I'm like, yes, appreciate my presence. So, yes, go ahead, Counselor.
Yeah, so basically out of the loop. We're euchred, basically.
Yeah,
Once everything's said and done. There's no timeline, no time frame.
That's right.
We're gonna
Can
get
I
waste
So
to
it's a
resource, and
shot to the
we're
moon,
gonna
I
solve
guess.
everyone's problem, Drago.
Wow,
I
Go ahead.
just,
not surprised.
Manuela just said I can say this. We did ask in our meeting for a specific timeline, and we were informed definitely not tomorrow, hopefully in the next year or 2. But definitely not tomorrow was their first
The
response.
response.
Yeah, when we asked for a timeline, they're like, definitely not tomorrow.
Oh,
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
sounds like such a fun meeting.
yes, but as you'll
Yes.
see in my report, we have had community members reach out with concerns that
Mhm.
were not compliant. So I did want to put everything that I had in a report, which was not a lot. So I did email, both RIPRA and circular materials. Only RIPRA responded, until this morning, again, not responding to that email,
So
but
rest assured, we do have the same concerns.
yes, and
And we've been pushing hard, but there's only so much that's all we can do.
mhm. So we're not transitioned, but we're not, like breaking any rules. We're doing everything we can. We were actually informed that we were one of the fastest municipalities to provide all the information they
Yeah.
needed.
Oh, good.
Helped,
Okay.
I guess.
So we're just low on the list of priorities.
Okay, I need a mover and a seconder to receive the report. Moved by Counselor Peter Kistemaker, second by Counselor Belinda Kistemaker. Be it resolved that council receives clerk report 2026-04 as information. Those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you, Jen. And moving on to bylaws, these were on our agenda last week as draft. If I can get a mover and a seconder for the first one of the delegation authority during restricted acts period of the 2026 municipal election. Moved by Counselor Drago Stefanik, second by Counselor Belinda Kistemaker. Be it resolved that bylaw number 220226, being a bylaw to delegate certain duties and acts during restricted periods after nomination day or the election of the new council, be hereby read a first and second time and be considered read a third time and finally passed. Any further comment? Go ahead, Jen.
Just quickly to both this and the next item, I did not receive any comments or anything, so, that's why there was no additional.
Okay, thank you. And I put those to a vote. Those in favor? And that is carried. Bylaw number 220326, use of corporate resources for municipal elections policy. If I can get a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Counselor Peter Kistemaker, second by Counselor Belinda Kistemaker. Be it resolved that bylaw number 220326, being a bylaw to adopt a use of corporate resources for municipal elections policy, be hereby read a first and second time, be considered read a third time, and finally passed. Just before we move on this one, I did ask you a question about the photos.
Yes,
Sorry, and that wasn't,
yes.
did you get an answer on that? If you read the full use of the
Mhm.
bylaw, you can't use, photographs or things that were taken with anything that was township property, and I have a mayor's phone. So that was what I was trying to clarify, like, do I have to scrub my, like, do I have to go through, like, I don't know what was what at that point. So,
Have to confirm.
you have to confirm? Okay, it's all right, Jen. And, I'll just leave it as is right now, and I'm not gonna use anything moving on from tomorrow.
Yeah, I think from my, like, that's what I had mentioned to you. I think it's what's on there as your mayor phone right now is fine. It's just anything moving forward for campaigning cannot be.
Okay,
Campaigning.
Yeah, anything
Yeah.
for campaigning purposes.
yeah, you can't use it for campaigning.
No, not
purposes
at
or
all,
anything,
yeah.
That's right, yeah, okay, I'm good with that, yeah. Okay, any further, questions or comments on the bylaw? Okay, there being none, I put that to a vote, those in favor, and that is carried. And we got motions and notice of motions, there being none, and we're gonna move into a closed session next. If I can get a mover and a seconder to move into close, moved by Counselor Peter Kissmaker, second by Counselor John Paroff. Be it resolved that the next portion of the meeting at 6:47 PM be closed to the public in order to discuss advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose pursuant of the Municipal Act Section 239(2) and F of the Municipal Act 2001. Those in favor? And that is carried. I should have announced it before. We'll just take a 5-minute break.
Yeah, I need
For-
to let people out.
Yeah, let
Yeah,
people
so,
Yeah, okay, or 10-minute break. We'll
Okay, thank
resume
you.
at 7.
You're good.
Okay, a mover and a seconder to return to open, please. Moved by Counselor Peter Kistemaker, second by Counselor Belinda Kistemaker. Be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Township does hereby return to open council at 7:29 PM. Those in favor? And that is carried. So business arising from the closed session, the item that we discussed is still ongoing. During the close, there was a question that was brought up that we couldn't discuss in close, and I'm gonna give Counselor Peter Kistemaker opportunity to ask that question now.
Yes, I would like to ask the question if, I was reminded, recently about the leaky roof that we have in between the foyer that's in between the curling club and the arena. And, we had a contractor, do all the repairs this summer. And I've never seen it this bad before. I'm just wondering what was, if there was any further notice of like how it's coming along.
Okay, go
So
ahead, Manuel.
may I report through you. My understanding is that there's a warranty on the product that was put down and the contractor is trying to remediate it through the warranty.
Okay, excellent.
So I will ask the Public Works Manager to include that on his next report.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
great. And with that, if I can get a mover and a seconder for the confirmatory, please. Moved by Counselor Peter Kistemaker, second by Counselor Belinda Kistemaker. Be it resolved that the bylaw number 220426, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at the regular meeting held on Thursday, April 30th, 2026, be hereby read a first and second time, be considered read a third time, and finally passed. Those in favor? And that is carried. And adjournment, moved by Counselor Dragon Stefanik, second by Counselor Peter Kistemaker. Be it resolved that council does hereby adjourn this regular meeting of council held on Thursday, April 30th, 2026 at 7:31 PM. Those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you, council.
Thank you.